Welcome to Treasure Coast Community Health, with 7 locations to serve you better. We have a dedicated staff. And now, here's your host, CEO Vicki Soule.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Community Conversations. I'm so pleased to be here again week after week because there's still so many great conversations to be had with so many wonderful community members. And so this week I've asked 2 of my friends from our Rotary Club, that would be the Vero Beach Oceanside Rotary Club, to come and talk to you all and me a little bit about their thoughts about being a Rotarian. A Rotary is a service club. There are many in this community, Kiwanis, and there's actually 5 Rotary clubs. There's a number of great individuals doing great things. And so we're going to talk about what you might be able to do to be of better service in your community. COVID has left many of us very reluctant to do things out of extreme caution, and that's certainly understandable. But I think every one of these service clubs, as it were, is not only able but willing to do those challenging things during this challenging time. So I'd like to introduce first Andrea Barquette, who has just been inducted as our Rotary Club president for the next year. Welcome, Andrea.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, Vicki.
Well, I'm glad you are, and I'm thrilled that you are our current president. You've been a club member for many years, and you've done some really exciting things that we'll talk about. And then Rick Gramas is our club treasurer. And Rick actually is a long-term Rotarian, and in the hierarchy of how the clubs are organized and managed, Rick actually was a district governor in Pennsylvania?
In Pennsylvania, correct.
Yeah. So you have a lot of experience. And so being a district governor, that is kind of going up the ladder of responsibilities. Could you tell us what really is Rotary about from your perspective?
Sure. Rotary, as you said, is a service organization, and we do a lot of great things both locally and around the world. But probably the best way is to use an acronym.
Okay.
I like to say we're men and women of steel, STEEL, and that stands for service. As you said, we're a service organization. Matter of fact, we are the oldest service organization in the country. Teamwork, we believe in getting together and doing things together as a club, not only as a club, but we do things regionally with other clubs in our district, and we do things around the world. There are many, many clubs all over the world. There are 1.2 million Rotarians throughout the world. So we believe in teamwork. We believe in ethics, a degree of ethics, not only in our business life and our professional life, but also in our personal life. We believe in education. Every week we get together and we usually have a speaker, some great speakers telling us about a lot of different things going on in the community around the world. You hone your leadership skills and social skills as part of being a Rotarian. And the last one is leadership. We are leaders leading leaders. So leaders, in our opinion, you don't have to have a lot of letters behind your name and high levels of authority and where you work. A leader is somebody that gets things done, and that's what we're looking for in Rotary. So that's what Rotary is about.
Well, thank you, Rick. As I was thinking about our conversation as we were coming in here, it's interesting because of the 5 clubs that we have in Vero Beach, in Indian River County, sorry. Each of them has a mix of ages and genders, and our club has kind of leaned towards the female side a little bit more than it has in the past. And when I think about leaders, I do think about those that get it done, and sorry, I'm sort of a little prejudiced. Women get it done.
They do. We're so lucky to have females, because that was not the case. I joined Rotary a long, long time ago. You said I had a lot of experience. That just means I'm old. But I joined Rotary in 1975, and at that time, there were only male members. Females were not allowed. In 1987, it actually went to the Supreme Court of the United States, and they said that service clubs had to admit women, and it was the best thing that ever happened to us.
Well, I can remember trying to make arrangements to speak at a Rotary Club about some cancer concerns that I wanted to educate the community as a whole on. And they said, sorry, no dice, you'll have to send a guy. So I do remember that.
Wow.
Of course, I'm old too. And so very grateful for the change. And again, this is, not surprisingly, our club membership month. Every month, our district governors choose something else for us to focus on that kind of brings us all together under the international umbrella of common goals. And so maybe we'll get some guys that'll say, I might be willing to be a part of that group. Because unlike the other Rotary clubs within Indian River County, we meet after work. 3 of them take a work break at lunchtime, and 1 starts at 6:30 in the morning. So if you're not a morning person, you need to see us. Andrea, you've been a Rotarian now and a Paul Harris Fellow multiple times. Why don't you tell us about some of those achievements and how you got into Rotary?
Well, I love the story about getting into Rotary. It's my sister-in-law who was one of the first women to become a Rotarian. Her mother club, as they say, is in Wisconsin. But she was going to Guatemala and had been going to Guatemala on Rotary service projects for many years. She invited me to come along. As we got closer in time to going, she goes, you get a lot more out of it if you went as a Rotarian. So I thought about that. My father had been a Rotarian. I admired what he did and the people that he worked with and the good work that that club did. And so the Rotary Oceanside Club was kind enough to offer me a home.
I remember that.
And I was very grateful. And so I went on that Rotary service project. It's been about 4 years ago. And since then, I feel like I've just made some great friends. I've learned a tremendous amount about the good work that can be done both at home in a group, in our communities, and also about Rotary International and that international aspect that lets us understand and learn about the needs of other places and just what an impact we can make. And one of the things that really made a lot of difference for me was unlike going into a place and saying, oh, I see that you have challenges and issues and problems. We're going to come in and we are going to fix it for you. Rotary doesn't do that. Rotary has a really strict policy of making sure that the work that's done is done because the people that you're helping want it done. And there's a whole organized community assessment that's done. Another cool thing about any kind of international project is that it's a Rotary club in the United States coordinating with a Rotary club in the district where you are going to be doing the work. And so there's that fellowship, that working arrangement, that working cooperation in getting the project done. So you are interacting with fellow Rotarians all over the world, and it's really a cool thing.
It really is. And, I can remember when you made the application to become a new member, how easy it was for all of us because we had already been sponsoring a young girl. Girls have to pay tuition just like the boys in Guatemala. And her family was poor, as many of them are. And she really, really was a bright gal and wanted to continue her education. So we paid for her tuition. We got engaged in information about the school she was going to. And when their bus broke down, it was a full discussion about what could we do and what should we do? Should we really come to the rescue? And we learned a lot about what the school does with their parents, with their community, and how far outreaching they were to bring kids in for further education. And she was only 12 or 13 at the time, and we got her through high school through that sponsorship. So the continued work in Guatemala through yourself and Lynn just seemed to be a very natural fit.
Wonderful.
Tell us a little bit, since we're on the subject already, what was your latest trip like? What kinds of service projects did you do, and what did you hear about how things might have developed over the couple of years that you've been involved with it?
Our latest service project was participating as our club with 7 other Rotarians in a global grant. And so there was a lot of fundraising that was done. And the global grant is through Rotary International, for which much of our dues goes towards supporting. and we built water systems. Well, our grant was building water systems and sanitation systems and maternal and infant health education in 2 of the villages in the highlands of Guatemala in the Chimaltenango region. I hope I didn't bastardize that too much.
That's a tough word to say for an English one.
And so we cooperated. The grant was done in cooperation with an organization that has been working in this area for about 40 years with a very high success rate. And after 3 years of education and involvement with each of these villages that we work with, the village is completely self-sufficient. The villagers have a buy-in both monetarily and with their labor to make sure that everything stays working. So we basically built stoves this time to help there were 3 families. We divided into 3 groups, and we helped put in ecological stoves within their homes. And that kept they usually cook inside, the smoke is inside. Lung disease is very prevalent in Guatemala. So the stoves are ecological. They use less wood. They're cool around the exterior so that children don't get burned. And they are vented outside so the air quality is better. Also, it takes less wood. So,
because the villages are very poor, but they also, I sense that they live in pretty tight quarters as well, one from another. The homes are not an acre apart, for example.
They can be fairly separated. And Guatemala is even more mountainous than you would imagine. It's very difficult to get from one place to another. It is worse than the most rumpled bed. It's
good analogy.
Yeah, it's very hard. And these villagers that don't speak Spanish, they speak a variety of Mayan languages, and their diet consists mostly of beans and corn. So a lot of what is done with these villages is to introduce other foods that provide nutrients. And it's not necessarily a lack of food, it's a lack of micronutrients in the food that results in Guatemala being like the 4th highest in the world for malnutrition among children 5 years and under.
Even though they have the food, it's not the right food. All the things that you're telling me speak to health, not only the lungs portion, but the water management is huge. I mean, the pollution when people are trying to drink and bathe and use all the same water for different purposes, it's an awful plight. So the Rotarians are working to better that. And so thank you for going and being a leader in our group of the enthusiasm to join in. Not all of us can take a week or 10 days off to do that sort of thing, but it certainly is worth doing. We're going to take a short break for a commercial spot, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about more local projects, more local socializing, and other cool reasons to be a Rotarian.
Great. Thank you, Vicki.
Thank you, Vicki.
Why did the countdown stop? Because it's the countdown to Buzz TV channel 1098, Comcast Xfinity, and it's here. Local content for Sebastian Vero and Fort Pierce. Tune in for local info, happenings, and fun, including all the great Planet Vero TV shows from 8 to 10 a.m. and p.m. Dial in channel 1098 for Buzz TV on your Comcast Xfinity box and discover what the buzz is all about.
Hurricane season begins June 1st. Use the extra time at home to start your preparations now so you're ready. Trim your trees and remove debris. Prepare to secure your home and update your supply list. Become informed about evacuation in local shelters. Don't forget to plan for your pets in advance. Be aware and prepare, Indian River County. Sign up to receive alerts at alertindianrivercounty.com. Or for more information, visit irces.com.
Indian River County. Roll with us, recycle.
You can trust Sandpiper Pest Control, serving Indian River, St. Lucie, and Brevard. Certified by the state of Florida to treat homes, lawns, and termites. Fully licensed and insured. Priced right, effective, and friendly.
Hi, this is Joel, the owner of Sandpiper Pest Control. Sandpiper can solve your pest issues. No contracts to sign, just results.
Call for a free estimate, 772-589-0204. Sandpiper Pest Control, a member of the iTex trading community. Your iTex dollars are welcome.
Are you becoming a realtor, contractor, mold remediator, guardian? In the state of Florida, these and many other industries require a Level 2 live scan background check for clearance to work in your industry. A1A Fingerprints is your certified live scan source from Broward to Brevard. And if you're a medical provider, you need to be registered on the ACA web portal. A1A Fingerprints will help you navigate and comply with the law. Call 772-494-6556 or visit a1afingerprints.com. A1A Fingerprints.
Hi, I'm Vicki Soule, CEO of Treasure Coast Community Health. Treasure Coast Community Health has been serving Indian River County for 25 years. How did we get here? It took a commitment to you to provide you with the most affordable, high-quality, integrated network of healthcare available anywhere. It took board-certified doctors and dentists and a dedicated staff to ensure that you receive the best possible care. It took more locations to meet the need, and now TCCH has 7 locations, with the latest one conveniently located down the street from Cleveland Clinic Indian River Hospital. Our services are available to everyone, whether insured or not. And at TCCH, no one gets turned away due to an inability to pay. We rely on donations from generous benefactors to continue our much-needed work. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, and almost all insurances. Call us at 772-257-8224 or visit us at tcchinc.org. And welcome back to Community Conversations. My name is Vicki Soule, and today I'm having a conversation about being a Rotarian. And I have with me 2 guests from the club that I belong to. So, okay, I'm a little prejudiced, but let me tell you, it's because many years ago, I went forward and started to talk to different service clubs and different groups around the community about what Treasure Coast Community Health is doing and what they had planned, and got some feedback. And I went to a number of different places, and I found by and large that Rotary, being a Rotarian, just fit my niche because it's about service above self. And yet it's a little bit social, a lot of education, as you talked about the acronym STEEL, which is, real quick,
service, teamwork, ethics, education, and leadership.
Exactly. And all of those spoke to me. And so I am a bit of a membership drive for our community members who are looking for a place to have a little bit of all of those things. You don't have to be a leader of a corporation, although it was originally started as a business group of diverse people in Chicago, men, who wanted to get together and do something better for their community, and led by Paul Harris. And now we have the Paul Harris Fellowship Award that is given to people who give monetarily. But we recognize that a lot of what we do really has to do with time, energy, and enthusiasm more than money. But as our treasurer here, Rick, would you like to talk about the monetary pieces of being a Rotarian?
Well, obviously, virtually all clubs of this nature have some sort of monetary and dues component. Mm-hmm. Ours is not much different than the rest, but we'll talk to you about that at some point if you would like to consider membership. It's not onerous by any stretch, no. But there is a monetary component to it that helps the organization do the great things that we do, again, not only locally, but around the world.
That's awesome. So let's talk about some of the more recent projects that we've done here locally. Certainly the thing that I'm most involved in is Josh the Otter. Because it is a program to educate little children, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds, about swimming and the dangers of swimming, not to scare them, but rather to help educate them and their parents about needing to learn to float, needing to always have an adult present. All those things that when you're a 4-year-old boy, very curious, a gate is an obstacle just to climb over, not really to stop one. And so we try over and over again through all of the nursery schools to get that message across. But we probably have, about 20 different projects that we have done within the last couple of years. You want to talk about any of them, yes. Andrea, as our president?
Yes. Our fellow member, Elaine Jones, that's not here, who is our past president, organized a variety of wonderful activities. We have planted trees in the community to beautify areas as a part of a project. I know one thing that we're working on currently.
That's okay. Look at the cheat sheet. It's 20. There's a lot of stuff.
We ring bell for the Salvation Army. We have little library bookstores up around the city for free books. You take a book, you can leave a book, and they're just little libraries set up around the city. We have actually done community cleanup with the United Way, the Day of Caring. We're involved with that every year, and we participate in wherever they send us to do whatever projects they have in mind. We've done beach cleanups. A big one that we do is homestay for international visitors that are also Rotarians, but we introduce them to Vero Beach, and we show them all the wonderful things that Vero has to offer, and we host them in our homes for about a week.
And in return, we learn an awful lot about what their clubs do, how they do it, how they organize themselves, how they recruit new members. To me, that is just the ideal coffee or cocktail chatter, is to learn about how other countries are engaging in Rotary International.
Yeah.
Very cool thing.
May I mention that they become lifelong friends. My daughter actually, through Rotary, went to Europe when she was 16. And now that she's 40, she still has contact with the family that she stayed with in Germany many, many years ago.
Well, and it's a very good point.
Lifelong friendships that are forged here in Rotary.
And you don't have to be over 30 to join Rotary. So I want to hone back on that. When your daughter was 16, she could have gone to the leadership camp for teens?
She did, and she, like I said, through this exchange program. There's two levels of exchange internationally. There's a summer program, which my daughter was part of, and then their daughter came and stayed with us for a month, and very lovely young lady. And then there's a year program where a student will go overseas and actually go to school over there for a full year. And we have students that come to the United States and go to school over here for a year, and they live with families, other Rotarian families throughout the world, and then their children come and stay with our families.
And that's got to have a real high degree of confidence for you as parents, knowing that it's like-minded individuals with high ethics and a willingness to do the right thing for their, not just their family, but others, including extended international guests. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's really cool. And so Rotary actually starts, help me out here, at the middle school, high school level?
Well, there's something called Interact, which is at the high school level, and then Rotaract is at the college level. Although there's really kind of no rule that says, I actually joined when I was right out of college and I was 24 years old. So you can join as a young person, and we are actually looking for younger people to become involved. And I know that today service is a big part of what young people are about, and this is a great way to do it. One of the things that's great about Rotary is if you have a cause, you don't have to go out and do it yourself. That's what I mean by teamwork. We're all here. If you have a cause, if you have something that you really are passionate about, go talk to a Rotarian, because chances are you'll be able to get help with the Rotary Club to help you get your job done and your cause
absolutely
taken care of. So come and see us.
So if right now they can't see us because we're all on Zoom, which has its advantages and disadvantages. But we certainly are easy to Google. Rotary Vero Beach Oceanside, or Rotary International, or Rotary Interact, and Rotary Rotaract. So again, I thank both of you for giving us sort of a primer on one of the best service clubs around, not to diminish what the others are doing, but I am very loyal to all the things that I've seen and heard and learned about our community. Having lived here, I still am in awe of some of the things that we learned. So thank you again for being here, and thank you, radio audience, for staying with us. See you next week.
Thank you, Vicky.